letting everybody know what is applied ethics. We're talking about we're going to be talking about some topics in applied ethics, like, things like abortion and gun control. But what is applied ethics, and what makes it different from other things in ethics, like, say, meta ethics or, or what have you?
Right, right. Yeah, so it's pretty typical, I guess, to think that ethics, broadly speaking, falls into kind of like three big areas. So there's meta ethics, and this involves questions like, what are the nature of ethical properties? I mean, do they exist independently of human minds, or do they just depend upon our subjective preferences? Are they natural properties? Are they non-natural properties, like more thoughts say? Are there ethical properties at all, or is ethical language doing something quite different than asserting propositions? Maybe it's just saying something's wrong is just saying boo that thing, boo to murder. Maybe it's just a kind of expressive attitudinal function. So that's meta ethics. Then you have what's sometimes called normative ethics, or maybe ethical theory, this sort of stuff. And there, more or less, you're attempting to figure out, in substantive terms, what makes right acts right and wrong acts wrong. What is sort of like the general way of characterizing what all the right acts have in common. So this is where you run into ethical theories like utilitarianism, Kantianism, contractualism, virtue ethics, natural law theory, etc. And then applied ethics deals with more specific, controversial moral issues, things like euthanasia, abortion, gun control, the ethics of meat eating, the ethics of charitable donation, the ethics of punishment, all these sorts of things, the ethics of warfare. All of these sorts of things fall under the rubric of applied ethics. I guess that the field has its name because the theory is that you're kind of, you're applying the general theoretical insights to specific concrete problems. Though actually that's not always what you do. I mean, there are kind of different methodologies. So you might think that you can do a lot of applied ethics without committing to any particular ethical theory, say, either because you can maybe find mid-level principles that different ethical theories will agree on. They'll all agree that you shouldn't go around hurting people without a good reason, that sort of thing. Or you might just be able to reason, say, from, certain clear intuitions about cases. Singer has this famous shallow pond argument. Well, if you see a kid drowning, then you should save them. But, and then from that tries to argue that you're required to give a lot of your money to charity. And that there, he does give another version of the argument that applies to sort of a principle. But that version of the argument doesn't apply to a principle at all. It just applies to sort of an analogy between two cases. So that's something like what applied ethics is the ethical study of these sort of particular concrete ethical issues that people disagree about, that people want the answers to.
Okay.